The last few seasons for Coventry City have been eventful to say the least. They have twice lost in the Sky Bet Championship playoffs to Luton and to Sunderland, and they have also parted company with their long-serving manager and club legend, Mark Robins. Now Frank Lampard is at the helm and he's got City playing some good stuff. However, the Sky Blue Army haven't been in the Premier League since 2001 and also haven't won a trophy since 1987. I think it's time for a change. As today we are jumping into FC25, we are taking charge of Coventry City with the ultimate end goal of getting the Sky Blue Army back to the Premier League and winning a Champions League trophy. But there will be a catch with today's rebuild, as we will only be able to make realistic signings. Now, if you're new to the channel and you don't know how the realistic transfers concept works in these videos, our primary rule is we cannot sign anyone who is higher rated than our current highest rated player. So Coventry City's highest rated player in FC25 is Milan van Ewijk at 74 rated, meaning in season 1 we cannot sign anyone who is above 74 rated. And taking an initial glance at Coventry's team, it's actually really strong in FC25 for a championship side. As well as Van Ewijk, we've got players like Ben Sheaf, who's 74 rated and 27-year-old. Jack Rudoni, who's 73 rated and 23-year-old, looks like a really good player. And Oliver Dovin, 22-year-old, 70 rated goalkeeper, he could have a lot of potential. So on initial inspection, the team is actually quite good heading into the new season. And in real life, Coventry have actually made 3 new signings. The Sky Blues have signed Kyle Rushworth on a season-long loan from Brighton, Kane Kessler-Hayden for £4 million from Aston Villa, and Miguel Brau on a free contract. So the first order of business of this rebuild is to sign all 3 of these players. However, we'll have to sign Kane Kessler-Hayden at the start of a fresh season, as he's currently in-game on loan at Preston. And as we are using the live start points feature for this rebuild, we're kicking things off at the very end of the 24-25 season, where Coventry finished 5th in the Championship. And looking at the team on initial inspection, this is a strong team for the Championship, boys, especially given the fact we've got the likes of Kane Kessler-Hayden and Kyle Rushworth to add to this team next season. We could be a real force in the Championship and once again make the playoff. However, this team is definitely going to need some reinforcements to help get us to the Premier League, and I think the defence is the glaringly obvious place that needs to be improved, and I think a centre-back has to be high priority when we enter a new season, because Thomas and Kitchen are good Championship players, but they're nowhere near good enough for the Premier League. Now, looking at the contract situation, I do know Jamie Patterson, Jack Burrows and Ryan Howley have all been released, but Jamie Allen signed the new contract. So we're going to follow through with this in game. We're only going to keep Jamie Allen. I also know players like Fabio Tavares have been sold as well, and Lewis Binks has left the club. I will make sure them players leave the club in the upcoming transfer window. Now, before we head into a fresh new season as Coventry boss, we have managed to bring Miguel Brau and Kyle Rushworth to the club ahead of schedule. However, we couldn't actually loan in Kyle Rushworth, so I've just bought him. £5.5 million for Rushworth, 800 grand for Brau. When we enter a new season, the first order of business will be to sign Kane Kessler-Hayden. So we are now officially in the first season of the Coventry City rebuild, and we're kicking things off with £7 million in the bank. After signing Kessler-Hayden, lads, we might actually struggle to sign a first choice centre-back. And before we do absolutely anything this season, Kane Kessler-Hayden has been signed from Aston Villa for only £2 million. Now, I think Coventry paid £4 million for him in real life, got a better deal in game, and he's actually a really decent player as well. But as I predicted, lads, we're left with just £4 million in the bank, which means we could struggle to bring a first choice centre back in. We may have to sell 1 or 2 players. Now, I am actually a fan of the formation that Coventry City start off with, so we are going to be sticking with this formation, and I like the personnel in the starting 11 as well. Now that we've added Rushworth and Kessler-Hayden to that team, it's looking very strong. It is just lacking a centre back, and looking through the squad as well, boys, we don't really have an adequate backup winger, which is something we may look to add to the team if we have enough money. Now, we have transfer listed quite a few players who've left the club in real life or aren't going to be any use to us in this rebuild. We also want to loan out a few of our youngsters as well. We need to get these deals done first though, because we can't actually afford to bring anyone in at the minute. Now, while we try and ship some players out of the club, we need to pick how we want to play with our Coventry City team. And do you know what, boys? I want to play fast, expansive football with Coventry. I think tiki-taka is the way to go in this rebuild. And do you know what, boys? We haven't used tiki-taka for a while. We've got some really good ball-playing players like Sheaf, Grimes and Rudoni. We're going to give tiki-taka a whirl. If we aren't getting the results we want, we can always change up later in the rebuild. Now, we are very busy in the transfer window, lads. There's a lot of work going on behind the scenes. We're moving players out. We've even signed a few players, but a bid has come in for one of our starting players, Matt Grimes. Everton have bid £2.4 million for him. I think it would be unrealistic to not accept this deal. Matt Grimes looks to be heading to the new Everton stadium, and that means he is going to need replacing in this transfer window, so we now need to sign a centre-back CDM and a new winger. Otherwise, we could leave ourselves short in going for promotion to the Premier League. But let's forget about outgoing talk for a minute. We have actually made our first official signing of the rebuild, as we have brought Will Fish in from Cardiff City in League One for £4 million. He's 22-year-old, 72 rated, right-footed centre-back with really decent stats. A player of his quality should not be playing in League One, so we have brought him up to the Championship to Coventry City. He is better than both Kitchen and Thomas, and at 22-year-old he's got a lot of room to grow. And we have also made a lot of sales, lads. Lewis Binks has left in real life, so we've sold him to Sheffield United. Brad Collins, Jake Bidwell, Ben Wilson, Aidan Dortch have all been sold as well. We have also loaned out 4 of our youngsters, meaning we have now got £11 million in the bank. Now a centre-back has been ticked off our wish list, but now we need a CDM and a winger. So boys, a CDM and right midfielder have been acquired, and I think we've made 2 very good, very realistic signings. Now we brought in a winger who had a decent loan spell in the Championship last season. Lewis Kumas has joined us from Liverpool on a 2-season loan. He's 19 years old, 71 rated with really decent stats. If we're being brutally honest, lads, he is never going to be a first team player for Liverpool, is he? So we have inserted a buy option of £6 million in 2 years time if Kumas performs for us. But was this a realistic signing? Let me know in the comment section down below. And when it comes to a CDM, we raided a club who broke Coventry's hearts just 2 years ago, as we signed Lamine Dabo from Luton, £4.5 million. 21-year-old, 71 rated, really good CDM. No way this guy should be playing in League One. I think he could be crucial in helping us push for promotion to the Premier League this season. This is a massive signing. And after those signings, boys, we're left with £4 million in the bank, but I do need to renew some contracts. I want to bring some coaches in, and we've got some youth scouting to do. That's going to be our transfer window done, and it's been a very good one at that. Meaning this will be the Coventry City team to take us into season number 1. Looking very strong on paper. We've had a really good transfer window. I'm hopeful we can at least get into the playoffs in season 1, and this starting 11 is now locked in for the first season. But before we simulate forward straight through to the end of the season, there's a small matter of our youth scouting. And as you know, on this channel, you guys pick the nations that we scout in FC25. And in season 1, we are going with this comment, and we are going to be scouting Cuba. And while we're over in Cuba, we're going to be looking for strikers and wingers. But as of right now, I think there's nothing left we can do but simulate forward straight through to the end of season number 1. And I'm actually intrigued to see how this exciting Coventry City team gets on. Can we nail a spot in the playoffs? So we've arrived at the end of season number 1, lads, and Coventry City have been promoted to the Premier League in style as we win the Championship, boys, and we have amassed 104 points, which is insane. 32 wins, 96 goals scored, Championship trophy added to the trophy cabinet, and Premier League football back at the Ricoh for the first time since 2001. And in the FA Cup, lads, we would lose in the 3rd round to the team we have just rebuilt on the channel, Tranmere Rovers. Bit of a shameless plug, go and watch that rebuild. But this will be the Coventry City team that takes us into the Premier League. Now, at one point this season, 3 of our starting back 4 were out injured. And to be honest, lads, if we're going to stay in the Premier League, I think Thomas and Kesler Hayden are going to need replacing, meaning a left back and centre back will be high priority in the upcoming transfer window. And if we have any remaining money after signing a left back and centre back, I would like to bring in a striker to replace Hadji Wright. He's 28-year-old, 75 rated. Don't think he's good enough to be a starting striker in the Premier League, but it's completely dependent on how much money the Coventry City board are willing to throw at us to stay in the Premier League. In an ideal world, a left back, centre back and striker are brought in. But in terms of stats this season, the man we are looking to replace, Hadji Wright, was excellent, getting 35 goals and 7 assists. Mason Clark was amazing as well, getting 21 goals and 14 assists. So we've arrived in season number 2, boys, and we've got £53 million. I think we'll be able to sign all of our top targets in this transfer window, and I'm really confident we're going to keep Coventry City in the Premier League. But we will have some contracts to renew at the start of this season to key first team players as well. We're going to get these contracts renewed, then we're going to attack the transfer window. Now, the highest rated players at the club are Kyle Rushworth and Milan Van Ewijk at 79 rated, meaning in this transfer window we cannot sign anyone who is above 79 rated. So boys, we went out into the transfer window, we brought in a left back, centre back and striker, but we have used up every single penny of our transfer budget. Have we kept the transfers realistic? Well, the first player we signed was a left back, Mateo Del Blanco of Feyenoord. We signed him for £8 million. He's 22-year-old, 75 rated, really good stats. Definitely feel like he'd be tempted to leave the Eredivisie for the Premier League. I think this is a realistic signing. We then signed a striker, and this guy is special. Lorenzo Luca signs from Udinese for £16 million. 25-year-old, 78 rated, really good stats, but the main selling point of Luca, He is 6'7" with 83 jumping and 86 heading accuracy. He is going to be an absolute beast in the air. I think this is a realistic signing. I know the centre-back, it's 50-50 whether this is realistic or not. We have signed Jake O'Brien from Everton for £18.5 million. 25-year-old, 79 rated, amazing stats. He's rapid and 6'6". Now, in-game, Everton are currently in the Championship. We are in the Premier League with Coventry. I definitely think Everton would lose some of their better players in the Championship, and I think a newly promoted Premier League side would have the ability to attract O'Brien. So I think this transfer is realistic, but more importantly, do you guys think the transfer is realistic? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, after those 3 incomings, lads, we have had some outgoings as well. Joel, whose last name I cannot pronounce, has left the club. Brandon Thomas Asante has left the club. Jamie Allen's left the club, and also Jay Da Silva. We have also loaned out 3 young players as well. Alejandro Morales has gone out on loan, 18-year-old, 67 rated. This guy has got a chance of breaking into our first team. We're going to be keeping a keen eye on this loan. But now we have got £9 million left in the bank, but I don't think we're going to sign anyone with £9 million who comes into our team. We've also got contracts to renew, and I want to do some scouting. I'm going to call our transfer window done, unless someone comes in for one of our top players with a bid that we can't turn down. And we are once again sending off our youth scouts to one of your recommendations this season. And for this season, we are going with this comment: our scouts are heading to Bulgaria, but we're going to be looking for defensive midfielders and wingers. So we have arrived at the end of the transfer window, lads, and we have managed to retain all of our best players, which is a massive plus going into the new season. And our starting 11 is now locked in for season number 2. It's looking really, really decent, lads. I'm hopeful this team can keep us in the Premier League. Don't fancy another season in the Championship. But I don't think there's anything left we can do but simulate forward straight through to the end of season number 2, and can Coventry stay in the Premier League? So we have arrived at the end of season number 2, boys. Judgment Day has arrived. Have we stayed in the Premier League? We have, lads. We have finished 16th in the Premier League on 38 points, 8 points clear of Leeds in the relegation zone, and we will once again be playing Premier League football in season 3. However, I am disappointed to lose 20 games and concede 71 goals. Definitely need some reinforcements next season, and we're not going to be working with a big budget. In the FA Cup, we would reach the 4th round and get beat on penalties by Fulham, and this is how the team is looking at the end of season number 2. We've got a few players now above 80 rated, which we love to see, with players like Kumas, Rudoni and Dabo not far behind, but it's clear to see where we need improvements in this team if we're going to be more comfortable next season. We definitely need a centre-back, and we definitely need a left midfielder, and we've also got to make Kumas's loan into a permanent deal, because he's been fantastic since we signed him. But in terms of stats this season, we really didn't score many goals. Rudoni, Luca and Kumas were our 3 best players. Hopefully in season 3 we score some more goals and get ourselves up that league table. So we have arrived in season 3. We've only got £29 million. Definitely not good. We don't have many saleable assets either. Right, let's waste no time. We're going to make Lewis Kumas a permanent signing at Coventry. He's been excellent throughout his loan here, and he has just signed for Wrexham in real life, so I'm going to call this a realistic signing. And that's Kumas officially signed, lads, but we are now left with just £23 million to bring a left mid and centre back in. So boys, we have managed to bring a left midfielder to the club, and despite our really poor finances, I think we've made a really good signing. Jack Clark signs for us from Ipswich Town for £20 million. He's 26-year-old, 79 rated, really good stats. Joins us from a club in the Championship. Clark isn't even first choice at Ipswich, as Jaden Philogene is ahead of him. I definitely think an established Premier League club would be able to sign Jack Clark, so we have brought him to Coventry. He's a huge upgrade on Mason Clark. But lads, it's unlikely we'll be able to sign a centre-back in this transfer window, as we've only got 280 grand left in the bank. And after our incomings, we have sold a few players as well. Frederick Naylor, Ellis Sims, Miguel Brow and Victor Torp have all been sold for cash, while Kai Andrews leaves the club on loan. We've used the incoming funds to renew some contracts, and we now have £8 million in the bank. Now, I don't think that's going to be enough to sign anyone else in this transfer window. We will keep this money to one side in case a big bid comes in for one of our key players. And once again, boys, we're going to be sending off our youth scouts to one of your recommendations, and for this season, we are going with this comment: we are sending our youth scouts off to Albania. I think we need to be looking for centre-backs, boys. So we have arrived at the end of the transfer window, boys, and once again, we have managed to retain all of our best players, and that's going to mean our transfer window is officially done for season 3. This will be the starting 11 to take us into the new season, and this starting 11 is locked in for the new season. Definitely looking a lot stronger with Jack Clark in the starting 11, and we've seen some growth, and I'm hoping to finish anywhere higher than 16th, and I don't want to lose 20 games again this season. But I don't think there's anything left we can do in season 3 but simulate forward straight through to the end of the season. Let's see how Coventry City get on. Hopefully better than last season. So we have arrived at the end of the season, lads, and we wanted to see some improvement. We have definitely done that, as we have finished 11th in the Premier League on 56 points. Only 1 point off actually finishing in the top half, which is really, really progressive. Nowhere near the relegation zone. We are now an official mid-table Premier League side with aspirations to get into Europe. Now it's time for a big push to get us into the Champions League. But we will be playing Europa League football next season, as we have won the FA Cup, lads. We have beat Nottingham Forest 5-1 in the final. What a way to win a trophy. That's an FA Cup added to our trophy cabinet, and that's our first domestic trophy since 1987. What an achievement. And this is how your FA Cup champions are looking on paper, and it's a very, very strong team, boys. We've now got a few world-class players in our team like Dabo, Kumas and Lucas, so we may actually struggle to keep these guys in the next transfer window if a Champions League club comes sniffing. However, it is clear to see where we need improvements next season. Left back, centre back and CDM is where we are lacking. However, I do not think we're going to get enough money to replace players in these positions, so I think high priority for me will be a centre back and CDM. And in terms of stats this season, well, Lorenzo Luca really flipped the on button. 37 goals and 6 assists. Really, really good season. And our new signing, Jack Clark, was immense as well, getting 21 goals and 4 assists. So we have arrived in season number 4, boys, and we've got £41 million to improve the team, which actually is a decent transfer budget. Now, the highest rated player at the club is Lamine Dabo at 84 rated, so in this transfer window, we cannot sign anyone who is above 84 rated. And lads, we knew this day were going to come sooner or later. Arsenal have made a £48 million bid plus some random player for Lewis Kumas. There's no way we can reject this deal. However, I'm not going to accept an exchange player, and I'm going to want at least £70 million to part way with Kumas. And Arsenal are willing to match the £70 million that we want. Looks like Kumas is on his way to the Emirates. Now, you might be thinking we're in a desperate bid now to sign a right midfielder to replace him. Well, you're wrong. You guys should have remembered we sent a very promising youngster out on loan in season number 1. That's Alejandro Morales. Has come back at 76 rated and 20-year-old with amazing stats. We do just need to renew his contract. Absolutely no problem. He is an exciting prospect, and he is going to be our starting right midfielder going into the new season. Well, we now have £69 million in the bank. We may have already done some business. That's right, boys. We brought in a centre-back while the Kumas deal was going ahead. Christian Mawisa has joined us from Sassuolo for £28 million. 23-year-old, 80 rated, left-footed centre-back with really good stats. Definitely a realistic signing, as Sassuolo are currently in Serie B in game. We have also sold Isaac Moore and Raphael, but we've also made a free agent signing as well. I felt like we were lacking a backup CDM. We have brought Ignacio Miramon to the club on a 3-year deal. This 25-year-old, 77 rated, really decent player. He'll be a good player to have on the bench heading into the new season and our Europa League campaign. So, boys, the left back and CDM have been acquired, and I think we've made 2 amazing signings. The left back we have brought to Coventry City is Victor Christiansen, and you know what? I've just realised he used to play for Leicester, who are Coventry's biggest rivals. That's going to go down well, innit? He's 25-year-old, 81 rated, really, really good stats. We're just going to see past the fact that he used to play for Leicester. A player with Premier League experience. I think this is a realistic signing for Coventry, if you just ignore the fact that he used to play for Leicester. And now onto our biggest signing of the rebuild to date. We have headed over to Belgium to sign Raphael Onyedika from Club Brugge for £32 million. He is 27-year-old, 83 rated, an absolute monster in the midfield. Is it a realistic signing? It's 50-50, to be honest. I think it's a no-brainer to swap the Belgian Pro League for the Premier League. But is this a realistic transfer? Let me know in the comment section down below. Now, we only have £8 million remaining in the bank, so I don't think we've got enough to do any more business. The only way we do some more business in this transfer window is if someone comes in for one of our top players. And all of a sudden, lads, our starting 11 is starting to look really, really strong. Everyone is 80 rated or above besides Morales, but I'm expecting a really big season in terms of growth for him. To be honest, boys, that is a really well-balanced team headed into the 4th season, and we have really reinforced our bench, lads. Plenty of good options. We could have at least 4 80 rated players in here by the end of the season. However, boys, we are kicking off season number 4 with a defeat in the Community Shield. Manchester City beat us 2-1. It was a very tight game with a last-minute goal winning it for City, and we have made the end of the transfer window, boys. No more of our key players have left the club, meaning this will be the Coventry City team to take us into season number 4. It's very strong on paper. We are now locked in for the new season. Let's now simulate forward straight through to the end of season number 4, and let's see how our FA Cup winning Coventry team get us on in Europe. So we have arrived at the end of season number 4, boys, and Champions League football has been secured for season number 5 as we have finished 3rd in the Premier League on 74 points. But lads, in a 38 game Premier League season, we have literally only lost 4 times. That is unbelievable, and we thoroughly deserved to qualify for the Champions League. Now this opens so many doors for Coventry City. We can attract a higher quality of player, and we have a much higher chance now of retaining our best players. Unfortunately, lads, we could not defend our FA Cup crown. We were beaten by Man City 2-1 in the 5th round. But boys, we have won the Europa League on penalties, beating Ajax 5-4 in the final. That's a Europa League trophy added to our trophy cabinet, and if we can win the Europa League, we can go far in the Champions League. So what a season it's been for Coventry. This is how the team is looking at the end of season number 4. What a team this is on paper. Dabo is our highest rated player at 88 rated. He's a superstar. Morales has grown by 5 overalls. He's looking good out on the right. Where do we improve this team in season number 5? Well, boys, I think we're going to need a new left midfielder to replace Jack Clark. He'll drop down and be a rotation option. And I'm looking to bring a new fullback in. Probably a left back. It just isn't sitting right with me that Christiansen was a former Leicester player. So a left mid and left back, top priorities in season number 5, and I'm expecting to get a really good budget. Well, on second thoughts, lads, Jack Clark got 32 goals and 12 assists, so there's no way we're going to be selling him next season. He's going to be our first choice left midfielder. We'll focus on getting a left back in before. So we have arrived in season number 5 and we've got £112 million in the bank. Now, as Jack Clark will be keeping his place in the team, we are going to be looking to improve both fullback positions, so Vanny Wyke and Christiansen's places in the team will be at risk. We're going to be looking for a right back and left back in this transfer window. Let's get the ball rolling. So boys, we have gone out into the transfer window. We have brought in a left back and a right back, and I cannot lie, boys, we are going to be a serious force next season. The first player we signed was somehow in the Championship. Demba Kamara has joined us from West Brom for £45 million. 22-year-old, 84 rated, absolutely unbelievable defender who is rapid as well. It's not very often that we sign regens, but I couldn't resist with this guy. He is far too good to play in the Championship, and he is making the jump from Championship to Champions League. Now, the next signing is a man who has actually flopped in the Premier League in real life. Valentin Barco is officially a Coventry player. We've signed him from Real Mallorca for £47 million. 24-year-old, 84 rated, really good stats, and he's very versatile as well. I do think this is a realistic signing for a Champions League level side. He's going to be a great addition to our squad. What do you think, boys? Were these transfers realistic? With our 2 new signings added to our starting 11, just look at how strong our Coventry team is. This is a well-balanced, amazing team on paper, full of experienced Premier League players and a couple of wonder kids as well. Now, it is a bit of a waiting game though, boys. We have to keep our best players, especially Dabo. But after those signings, lads, we're only left with 878 grand. So if we don't sell any key first team players, that's going to be our transfer window done in terms of incomings. And there has also been some movement out of the club, boys. The likes of Liam Kitchen, Kai Andrews, Kane Kessler-Hayden, Josh Eccles have all been sold, bringing quite a bit of money back into the football club, and we have loaned out 2 youth academy players. And we kicked the new season off with a very narrow loss in the UEFA Super Cup to Real Madrid. A very even game, finished 2-2, but unfortunately Real Madrid won the lottery, that is the penalty kicks. But if we can take Real Madrid all the way to penalties, we can have full confidence we're going to be amazing in the Champions League. And we are now at the end of the transfer window, boys, and we have managed to retain all of our key players. So that means this will be the Coventry City team to take us into season 5 and our first in the Champions League. It's an amazing team on paper. We are officially locked in for the new season. Let's simulate forward straight through to the end of the season. So we have arrived at the end of the season, lads, and Coventry City are the champions of England. We have won the Premier League, finishing 4 points clear of second place Manchester City, only losing 4 games all season once again. That's 8 Premier League losses in 76 games. That is a ridiculous start, and that's a Premier League trophy added to our trophy cabinet. But we couldn't win the FA Cup, lads. We made the quarterfinals and got battered 5-1 by Manchester City. And in the Champions League, despite finishing 5th in the league phase, which is absolutely incredible, conceding just 5 goals in 8 games, we would lose in the round of 16 to Juventus, who would beat us 4-2 on aggregate. Difficult to take, lads, but we go again next season. So this is how the Premier League champions are looking heading into the new season, and this team is looking unbelievable on paper. Dabo becomes our first 90 rated player. Players like Kamara and Luca aren't far behind. Where do we improve this team in season number 6 though, lads, as the team's amazing on paper. I think a right-sided centre-half to replace Jake O'Brien, a real marquee signing, would really help push us on in the Champions League. I do also want to bring in a backup winger and a backup striker. Now, at the end of the season, we will be saying goodbye to Sakamoto as he is retiring. And in terms of stats this season, Lorenzo Luca was our best player, getting 26 goals and 3 assists. Clark, Morales and Rudoni all had excellent seasons as well. So we have arrived in season 6, lads, and we have got £128 million to improve our team, which is a fantastic budget. So boys, we have been very busy in the transfer market. All of our targets have been acquired, and we've made a signing that could be pretty controversial. You'll have to let me know if it's realistic. Well, the first player we signed was a backup striker, Matija Freegan from Holston Kiel for £18 million. 27-year-old, 80 rated with really good stats. He's a very adequate backup striker, and he is an upgrade on Hadji Wright. We were then looking for a backup winger, and we signed Rocco Vata from Stade Rennais for £25 million. 25-year-old, 80 rated, really good stats, and he can play left mid, right mid, and cam. Very versatile player. Really happy with this one, boys, for the price we got him at. And now time for the controversial signing. Lenny Yoro signs from Villarreal for £60 million. 24-year-old, 85 rated, amazing stats. My thought process behind signing Lenny Yoro is we are the Premier League champions. We've just won the Europa League as well. I definitely think the Premier League champions will be able to sign Lenny Yoro. But lads, you're the ultimate judges. Is this a realistic transfer? But we are now left with just £4 million in the bank, so I can safely say there'll be no more incomings in this transfer window unless key player leaves. So we are kicking off season 6 in slightly disappointing fashion, boys. We have lost to Newcastle United 3-1 in the Community Shield. It was a close game though, lads, and they just took the chances. But the transfer window is now done, lads, and surprisingly we didn't get any serious bids for any of our players. That means this team is locked in for season number 6. It's looking amazing on paper. Definitely a world-class player in every single position of this team. Our bench is looking absolutely stacked as well. This could be a very special season for Coventry City. It's by far one of the strongest squads we've ever had. Let's simulate forward straight through to the end of season 6, and I'm really excited about our prospects this season. So we have arrived at the end of the season, lads, and unfortunately we could not retain our Premier League crown, finishing second in the league, 5 points behind eventual winners Arsenal. We had an amazing season though, the highest scoring team, and only lost 5 games all season, so there were reasons to be positive. Let's see how we got on in the cup competitions. Well, in the FA Cup we were knocked out in the 5th round by Nottingham Forest 3-2. That's not really good enough. But we did win the Carabao Cup, lads. We beat Fulham 2-1 in the final, adding a Carabao Cup trophy to our trophy cabinet. Have we got room for one more? As we are actually in the Champions League final, boys, and we are going to be taking on Manchester City in the Battle of the Cities. In the league phase, we were outstanding, boys. We finished 3rd out of all the sides and didn't lose a single game. And in the round of 16, we would beat Napoli 5-3 over 2 legs, cementing our place in the quarterfinals, where we would take on Newcastle United, winning the tie 3-1 over 2 legs. We would then reach the semi-finals and take on Borussia Dortmund and beat them 3-2, City beating Juventus 2-1 to set up a final between Coventry and Manchester City. And the team we are taking into the Champions League final is very strong, lads. No one in our starting 11 is below 86 rated, and just look at the team. This is genuinely one of the highest rated teams we are ever taken into a Champions League final. The bench isn't bad at all, boys. So much talent on the bench. Only 2 players below 80 rated. I'm fairly confident our team is going to be better than City's heading into this final. Now, in terms of stats this season, Lorenzo Luca was our best player, getting 36 goals and 11 assists. Jack Clark and Morales were fantastic as well, alongside Onyedinka. But it is now time for us to announce the Hall of Fame inductee for the Coventry City rebuild, and I'm going to go with a bit of a rogue shout. We are going to be inducting Carl Rushworth to the Hall of Fame for this video. He was the first player we signed in this rebuild. He's been with us from day one and grew to 87 rated. So for that reason, we are inducting Carl Rushworth to the Hall of Fame. Do you guys agree? And all that is now left to do, boys, is take on Manchester City in the Champions League final. So here we go, boys. Champions League final time, live from Schalke's stadium. But the first thing we always do in these finals is check what we're up against. Now, City do actually have Erling Haaland, who's 92 rated, O'Reilly, Leo, and Buemo, Coffee, 90 rated as well, 87 rated, 84. Do you know what, boys? They've got a strong team, but ours is definitely better. We've got a couple of good midfielders, but the defence isn't that strong. We can definitely get at this City team. I would say we are the favourites for this final. And we're going to Haaland with the first shot of the game. Hopefully that's a sign of things to come, boys. 20 minutes in, lads. Nothing's happened. And this is the thing with these Champions League finals. I don't like it when there's no highlights. Rudoni. And Clark could be in. That's a great ball. Jack Clark. It's 1-0 to Coventry, lads, with our first meaningful attack of the game. Jack Clark puts us in front. We expose that weak City defence. Good ball from Rudoni to play him in. And with all the time in the world, Jack Clark picks up the top corner. And it's 1-0 to Coventry in what's been the dullest final ever. Morales. Luca. What a chance for Rudoni. Straight from kickoff. Get in there, it's 2-0. Jack Rudoni with the goal, boys. Straight from kickoff. And it's just too easy, boys. City wide open. They've gone all out attack. And what a finish from Rudoni. And Bemo. Haaland. Oh my god, what a miss. Right on the stroke of half-time as well. Haaland. Good job, headers are broken in FC25. We're 2-0 up at half-time. Big moment that, you know, boys. And I think that really does swing the game in our favour. If Haaland scores there, it's a completely different story in the second half. Haaland with a chance, and it's dragged wide, deflected wide though. City have gone so attacking at the start of this second half. Haaland could be in. What a tackle by Moisa. Rudoni, what a ball. City have got so many men forward, and Morales is in. He's far too quick for Calafiori. This is going to seal the game, boys. What a finish from Morales, boys. 3-0, game over on the 60-minute mark. And City just guilty of playing too many men forward, leave themselves so exposed at the back. And Morales with a fantastic finish just to finish the game off. And I have to say, boys, we have been super clinical in this final. We've had 3 chances and took all 3. Got a foot in, and Haaland's 8th shot of the game, and he still can't score. But it doesn't matter, boys. Coventry City are the champions of Europe. We have beaten Man City 3-0 in the final. And I have to say, boys, it was pretty plain sailing for us in that final. Took our chances, didn't really get tested. And now all that is left to do, boys, is lift the Champions League trophy. It will be Jack Rudoni to do the honours, and Coventry City are the champions of Europe. That's another rebuild successfully boxed off. I just want to say a massive thank you for watching the video, boys. If you have enjoyed it, please be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It does really help me out, and I will see you next week for another rebuild.